Before the break, we were trying to explore what is the significance of this template tag, isn't it? Because we know that every HTML file, should start with this HTML tag. But what we found when we created our very first Lightning, web component, correct? We did see a bundle of files getting created, fine. But the HTML in HTML file, we were not seeing HTML tags, correct? So to understand that, we are going back to the fundamentals, right? So that's where we landed on this special tag called a template in HTML. Yeah. So first I'll go back to the code. Okay. Right. And yes. So what I'm going to do is I was about to add this image source, isn't it? Right. So let's take this. So this is a this is an open URL where you can just generate any image, random image. Okay, so given a number, it just generates a random image for you. This is how it works. How did it go? Did I miss something? Yeah. So this actually shows you the image, okay, of a random user. So you can just put any number, it just gives you the image of the person. Okay, so men, women, you can just take that. Yeah. So what I'll do is I will use this. Okay, I'll use this for now. Let's close this one. Yeah. So let's save. And this is cool. We are seeing an image, isn't it? Yeah. And it's a simple div inside which I have this. I have this image, and let's say that is a name, John Doe. Okay. Yeah. Something like this. Yeah. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wrap this inside a template. Okay. Inside a template. Move the entire code inside the template, and let's see what happens when we just save this. That's it. That image is gone. That image is gone, right? Yeah. So this is why we are saying this template tag. It's a very special tag. Okay, something that HTML parsers ignores. Even though if I right-click my browser and then look at the actual code, the HTML code, isn't it? Yeah. I will still see this code available. You can just see this, right? Template. Yeah. The code is still there. Okay, the code is still there. But it's not rendered on the screen, rendered on the in the page. Okay, so that's the beauty of this this template tag. Okay, so what it means is, right, even though HTML parser does ignore this, I can able to invoke this particular template in my JavaScript code. Okay, but why do I have to do all these things, correct? Yeah, why do I need to do it? So when you have a code, okay, an HTML code that you would like to reuse, you would like to manipulate, okay, the HTML code, okay, before it is rendered on the screen, okay, then you can go with this template tag, okay, for two reasons. First of all, it is going to be ignored by the HTML process. Number two, okay, times when programmatically you want to manipulate the code, okay, or reuse the HTML code, okay, so we will use templates, okay, and that is what Salesforce is also doing. Salesforce says that you can write your code inside the template. You can write your code inside the template. So when this code is deployed, yeah, Salesforce takes the entire code that you will be writing inside the template tag, then it will manipulate the code. It will make a lot of changes to your code. It will change the ID of your tag for security reasons. It will change the it will add the HTML tags, HTML head, body, everything gets added. okay, on top of your code. Okay, so that's the reason Salesforce in LWC says that focus on your logic alone, leave the rest to me. Okay, because we know that, right? That's what Salesforce does all the time, right? It makes, it simplifies the work for us. Salesforce says that don't worry about the other things, focus on your actual HTML implementation. Okay, which you can just write it inside the template. The rest of the things, manipulating the data, manipulating the HTML code, so that it just shows up in a right way inside the Salesforce, or right, everything is taken care by Salesforce. Okay, that's the first significance. Yeah, so I'll take another 5 minutes to show you programmatically how you can able to write, how you can able to access this template, and then do things. Yeah, let's close this one. Yeah. Let me do this. So what I'll do is, let me, where is the HTML? Here it is. I will have a name to my template. Okay, ID equal to, let's just say this is my user card. Okay, that's the name of my ID. Yeah, and then let's say equal to div card. Yeah, and we'll have image. I'll give a name to my image. So I'll just say ID equal to user img image, and we'll have the paragraph tag, right? We'll have a p tag. Let it be as is. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a button. Okay, I'm going to introduce a new button, and what I'll do is I'll introduce a simple JavaScript function. Okay, yeah, I'm going to say that show user card. So this is my JavaScript function that is written inside the JavaScript file, right? Yeah, I'll go back now. What I'm going to do is, in the button, when somebody clicks, right, on click, because JavaScript is an event-driven programming, so as the Lightning Web component. So on click of a button, I would like to call this method. Copy this, go back, and then put it right here. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I'll give a name, generate user. Okay. Yeah. So we have this generate user button now, isn't it? Yeah. What I'll do is I will first comment everything. Okay. I'll keep only this function, so that our page looks neat. Yeah, generate user. So this is the reusable code. So whenever I click on generate user, I want this code, to show me a user image along with a name, a random name, or rather I'll just make it very simple, a simple image as well. Okay, just an image. Okay. Yeah. So let's try this. Let's see how we can able to do it. So this template concept, right? It's not new. Okay. When you go to Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel, right? You all see this templates available, right? Yeah. You click on the template, it just shows a nice footer, header, and the content, everything. You can just start modifying it, correct? But that does not mean you are changing the base template. Because the base template remains the same, but only the only the copy of the template, right, it's being changed. So you can just see this, right? All these are templates, isn't it? Yeah. If I want to build my resume, I just use this as a template and then start changing the content, correct? But this template remains the same, and this makes it reusable, isn't it? Yeah. So that's the same thing we are going to do. So I have a template tag inside which I have an image tag, div tag. So both can be reused. I can give new image sources, okay, new image sources, so that every time, right, when when the button is clicked, that same code it's going to be used to show a user image. Okay, so I'll close this one. That's the concept of template, in one go, in a simple term. Yeah. So I'll go to show card, and what I'm going to do is first let's try to split this. Okay. Yeah. So inside the show card, first thing what we need to do is we need to find the template. Yeah. So first thing is find the template. Yeah. So how do I find the template? I think it's already coming up. Yeah. So we can use this document.getElementById, which is a JavaScript function. Yeah. So through which I can able to find the template. So this is the ID through which I'm able to find this one, right? Then let's find the, maybe I'll have another div tag. Okay. Yeah. For output, ID equal to user container, I'll just say. Okay, simple div tag. So inside which I wanted to show this different users. Okay, so let's say find the user container. So that's it. This is also done. Yeah. So I'm using again the document get element by ID, or I can use document get element by name as well if I can use class name to figure it out. Okay. So two things. And then what I'm going to do is excuse me. First things first. So what we will do is let's clone the template. Okay. Remember in the Word document when we just where we wanted to use the resume template, we just click we can click and then that gives you a copy of it, right? That's what we're going to do it programmatically. So how do I clone this? Again, that's very simple. What you can do is you can just say let cloned user card, okay, which is equal to this user card. You have already found this template, right? Dot clone node of true. So what it means is this clone node is a function that helps you to take a copy of this entire entire template. Once you have it, okay, once you have it, what you can do is you can just simply use template or clone the content and find the image tag in it. Yeah. So how do we do that? So so again it's going to be just the same. So you will use this image tag. You will use this image again. Have a variable. This clone user card dot get element by the tag name we can just give, or we can also go by get element by. This is possible, or this is also okay. By ID. Okay, so I can just give the ID as well. Okay, either ways you can do it, either this or we have this ID, right? I'll just use this one. So from the copy, I managed to get the image tag, correct? So now what I can do is I can just set the image tag dot src is equal to, I can give a another link. For example, instead of this, okay, I can give okay, that's it. So now the image has been set, isn't it? The image has been set. All we have to do is we just have to show this, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is display the card inside container. So I have this user container, isn't it? User container dot. Okay, we can just simply say append child of cloned user code. That's it. So whatever the content that we cloned, correct? Yeah. So that content it's going to be shown inside this user container into this one. That's it. I'm using this append child JavaScript method to do the job for me. That's all it is. Okay. I hope this will work. Hope so. Let's cross check. Okay. Yeah. Save. Let's go back to our page. Content user. Okay, something is wrong, I believe. Let's cross check. Right, what is causing the problem? Show user code is not defined. It's not defined. Really? Oh, okay, I got it. Why it is not showing up? Let's close this one. Just got to move this to the top. So let's try this now. Same problem. Why? Let us quickly see why this is not working.
Should we remove the double quotes around the show user card?
Where are we seeing the double quotes?
24. Like show user card function. Show user card is a function. No need to create it as a variable or a string.
So we wrap the function inside the double quotes. We don't give something like this, right? So we have to wrap the function inside the quotes, isn't it? What is missing? What is this missing? Double quotes. Anyways. That's okay. Let's do this. Why are we? We'll try for 2 minutes. Okay, we'll try for 2 minutes. Otherwise, we can just skip to the other one because we are not here to troubleshoot. Our focus is on LWC, right? But we got the idea of templates, isn't it? So that's important. So what I'll do is I'll just simply put console.log. Yeah. And again, when you write your Lightning Web component, the console.log, you use it a lot. Okay, for debugging purpose. So just like you use system.debug, right, in your Apex code, you will use this console.log, when you write your Lightning Web component. We will do that. So I will simply say this is show user code. I will first just see whether this is at least getting called or not. Okay. So save this. Where are you? Something is wrong. This is okay, fine. Okay, what happens when I call a function? It is case sensitive. Save this, try one more time. No, still it is not able to find this function. That is because I have not given us a function. That is the reason. Okay. Okay, so that should be a keyword, right? I sort of missed it. That's the problem. Silly mistake. Let's try this now. Console.log. Let me right click, inspect. Let's go to console. I can just see show user card. Now I think it should work. My bad. I didn't give the keyword. let us go ahead and then do this right away. Yeah. So did I clean up my code? Yes. So let's try this. Go back. Let's see. Something else is missing. Cannot read properties of null clone node. Where it is? Line number 31. Let's click here. So it's not able to find. Yes, that makes a difference. So why? Let's wait for this to save, then try this. Let me clear everything and then start from here. Okay, now I want to debug. Clone node line number. Let's cross check one more time. User card dot clone node. What is user card, by the way? User card is document or get element by ID. This is the user card, isn't it? So the other problem, with the JavaScript and with Lightning Web Component is case sensitive. Okay, is case sensitive. So this particular line, okay, I'm trying to find this particular template code, right, using JavaScript, correct? Look at this. Look at the ID. With here it is, lowercase c, right? Here it is uppercase c. So that's the reason the system was not able to find that particular, particular element. So JavaScript is case sensitive, so as your Lightning Web Component. So you have to be very careful when you write your Lightning Web Component code. Sometimes things like this happen. Okay, if you don't use the exact casing, you will not find the element or you will not find the code working. Okay, anyways, I just corrected it. I just changed that uppercase c to lowercase c. Let's save and then try this again. Simple code. Why are you causing all this trouble? Okay, right. I'll explain this debugging as well tomorrow when we create our Lightning Web Component, right? So that either you can use console.log, or when something goes wrong in your Lightning Web Component, right, you will know how to go and then step through your actual JavaScript code. Okay, yeah. So let's see. Oh, looks like something is wrong right here. Okay, it says get elements by ID. That's the reason it has to be element by ID. Okay, we have to be careful with all these things. So let's try this again. Is it user image? I will go with this one. Let's see what happens. So let's have one more tag and see what happens. So let's have instead of an image, we'll try with simple title. Okay, yeah. Okay, H2, and let's say this is title. Okay, I'll try to find this one. Last try, if it is not working, it is okay, because we need to focus on the other things. Okay, yeah. So we have this cloned one. So let's add this let's have this, let um, title element equal to, I'll take from the clone template, template dot. I'll try this query selector this time. Okay, this is just to show there are multiple ways you can able to access an element, and in LWC we will be using this query selector, predominantly. Okay, so this dot template dot query selector of we'll just give the tag. Yeah, so we'll give the tag. Was it H2 or P? H2. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Then what we can do is we can just set the title element. Title element dot inner HTML. Let's say hello world. Yeah. That's it. We are good with this. Finally, the container up inside, everything's fine. I hope it should work. Otherwise, let's get to the next one. Okay, in the interest of time. Something is still wrong. It's okay. We can just I'll fix this code and show you. How this.
No, in the show container, right? You have to last line, right? 41. User container. You have to append that.
Yeah.
Should be capitals. It should be lowercase. User card.
Oh, this is lowercase. Isn't it? Oh no, I think.
No,
User card. It should be lowercase. Card. 31. Line number 31.
Yeah.
I'm talking about line number 31.
Line number 31, we have this user card. So we have to. This is a template, right? This is a user card template, correct? So we have to clone the template, isn't it? So this is a template, and we have to clone the template. So the cloned, content resides right inside this one, right? And from the cloned content, which means when the clone happens, right, this entire HTML code is copied. So from that entire HTML code, we are trying to find that H2 tag. Yeah, and once you find the H2 tag, which is the title element, we are simply we are trying to modify the data, right? Modify the data to hello world. Once that is done, we will just simply add this clone card to the container, so that it will, when you click on the button, every time it shows hello world again and again. Okay, so that's the idea. Yeah, you take the content, you take the copy of the template content, find the right element, change the data, then show it back to the screen. Okay, so that's the whole idea. So that's why I'm using clone user card right here, and also here we have to use this template which needs to be cloned. Yeah, so anyways, something might have been some simple mistake. Okay, let's try once. Last try, otherwise we'll just stick to the HTML modules. Okay. Okay. Are you able to find this element? No, it is null. What is there in clone user card? Okay, try this. Clone user card dot get elements by ID by tag name. Let's say H2. We do have H2. Okay, that's good. I think if we use elements by tag name, it should work. I see this one, HTML collection. Okay. Anyways, I'll fix this code later. Okay. In the interest of time, let's stop this right here. But let's document the key takeaway. Okay. So the takeaway is there is a special tag in. Okay. Can we use var instead of let? No. Because let var gives you global scope. Okay, so when you have a variable that is defined as var, so anywhere in your code you can just change it, but let gives you a focused scope. Okay, for example, if you have a if block, okay, and then you have this probably I'll just give you an example right away. We'll try this example right away. Yeah, because this var will not solve the problem. That's what I was just trying to say. What I'll do is instead of this, let's try one more. Okay, I'll just say var, yeah, a equal to 1. Okay, yeah. And then let's say we have this if block 1 equal to 1. Okay, so now what I can do is I can just access this variable a equal to 2. I can just do that. Okay, so this variable has global scope. Anywhere it can be accessed and modified. Okay, that's what this bar means. Okay, I'll just say let. Okay, let z equal to, let's say 10. Okay, now I'm trying to access z here and then change the value to 11. Okay, yeah, and once this is done, I just wanted to print that output. Okay, console.log a colon plus a. Okay, I'll just say value of a. So the same thing I'm going to do it for z. Okay, just see what happens. Has local scope. Okay, has local scope. Or I'll put it this way so it will be easy. Okay, when you have a block of code, yeah, so I'm creating the z inside this block, right? So if I just save this and then save this, let's look at the console.log. Too many, right? Instead of all levels, I just say show only the errors. Why? Okay, those some plugins are failing. That is okay. We'll just cross check our code. Yeah. So if you look at this somewhere, where is it? Unprinted. Okay, console.log, where goes? You can just see this, right? Value of a is 2, which means in my code, okay, if I have a variable, okay, that is declared as var, it has a local scope. I'm sorry, it has a global scope. Anywhere in my code, even after this, if I have another block of code, I can access this a and then modify the value. But the let, it's having a local scope. So if I declare this inside a block, then after it comes out of this block at line number 56, that's it. The scope of z is gone. Okay, so that's the reason line number 57, I'm not able to access this, and you are seeing z is not defined. Okay, so that's the difference between var and let. Okay, this let is something introduced as part of this ES6 standards. Okay, yeah, var has always been there right from the start. Okay, but this let is something introduced in 2050 as ES6 standards. Okay, and again, this is not the reason for our code, our code not working. But anyways, I'll fix the code tomorrow. I'm going to show you. Okay, so now the key takeaway about the template is, so you don't have to worry about writing the whole bunch of an HTML. Just focus on the HTML part alone when you develop Lightning Web Commerce. That's the key takeaway. Yeah. And number 2, another thing, important thing is this import export, isn't it? Yeah, this import and export. So before we go to this import and export, I'm gonna introduce JS classes. Okay, so just like how you can define a variable like SZ topic equal to JS classes, right? So this is a simple string SZ topic that holds this value JavaScript classes, right? And just like how you create Apex classes, it is possible for you to create a a JavaScript class as well. Okay, I'm going to create a class in JavaScript. So it's class. I'll give a name user, or I'll just say user info. Okay, I can have properties. I can have properties like okay, I can have properties like phone, email, address, etc. I close this one. Okay, so this is totally right, possible in JavaScript. So just like how you create a class, you can create a class in JavaScript as well. And about about this keyword extends, right? Okay, it's nothing but an inheritance. Okay, so you have another class called lightning element. So all it does is, right, when you have a class that says it's extending lightning element or extending another class, okay, which means it's inheriting all the properties and the functions from another class. That's all it is. Okay, so this extends meaning in lightning web component, it's actually extending all the properties and functions from lightning element. Okay, that's all it is. So it's as simple as creating a class. A class can have this so user user info. It can have a method, right? So how do I access this variables in class? Yeah, so what you do is always use this keyword, okay, keyword to access class attributes or properties. Okay, attributes or properties. So I can have a constructor as well, user info of yeah, I can have a constructor. So what I can do is I can in my JavaScript code, I can just simply create a new user info by giving name, email, and phone number. And then if I call this show user info, it will simply show me the output. I'll just showcase that as well. Okay, so it's all about user info object user is equal to new user info. So we'll have user called john at gmail.com. Okay. What is wrong with this? Oh, sorry. I got confused, with with Apex. Okay, again, this is not a strongly typed, language, right? So I let JavaScript to determine the data type. Okay, all I have to do is create a simple variable. Okay, yeah, create a variable, variable to hold an object of user class. Okay, so that's it. What I can now do is I can just use this object and then call the method. So user info, right? Yeah. So what I'll do is I will go to HTML, and instead of util, I wanted to call this JS class.js. Let's see what happens. Okay, when we call this one, let's put this right. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, HTML, JavaScript is fine, cool. Okay, let's save this, and let's right click, inspect. I think console is too much crowd, right? In the console, where is this? This is the line, right? Yeah. All right. So the point is, it is possible to create a class. Okay, and that is precisely what we are doing. Okay, that is precisely what we are doing right inside this LWC component as well. So you are basically creating a class, simple class. Okay, simple JavaScript class with, you will create variables, you will create properties or variables. Okay, properties. Also, you start creating methods. All these things you will do it. Okay, yeah. If that is the case, if it is a simple class, okay, with which inherits this lightning element as well. What does this export mean? What does this import mean? Yeah. So this is where the other concept called HTML modules come into the play. Okay. So so let me just create a simple class again. Okay, simple JavaScript file again to showcase import and export. And also we will try to export this guy, this user info class. Okay, let's do that. Yeah. Because there is something called JavaScript live hooks. Okay, so once we understand that, we will also able to understand the Lightning Web Component live hooks. Okay, so that is a little important, so that we know exactly when a piece of code should be written in JavaScript and when we should not do that. Yeah, so let's do that. Okay, so maybe that's a constructor method. Okay, yeah, right. Instead of this, can we use document dot write? Because this is too much crowded. Let's show this different lines. Okay. That's it. Let's go back now. I'm seeing John, etc. Right? Yeah. This looks not clean, isn't it? So this is working fine. Correct. Now, where does this export and import come into the play? Right. So, so talking about this export. Yeah. So we have this, import and export will help to reuse JavaScript code. Okay, we'll use JavaScript code. That's all it is. Remember, we did learn this template, correct, in HTML. So where we had written some tags which we did reuse, correct? We did reuse. Similarly, if you have a JavaScript code that you wanted to reuse in other places JavaScript files, that's when you use this import and export option. Okay, so this is what we call HTML modules. Okay, just for just for reusing reusability purpose, we are using this import and export. Okay, so let's learn that with simple example. Yeah. So in this case, I have a JavaScript file. Okay, that is this SZ topic. That is this class as well, isn't it? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to remove that code. Okay, I'm going to remove that code, and I'm going to create another file. Okay, another JavaScript file. Okay, so let's say this is my main.js. Okay, main.js, and let's try this. I have the script, and I'm calling my main.js. Okay. So now I have two JavaScript files, isn't it? Yeah. The first JavaScript file, JS class, contains a string, correct, and a class. And the main JavaScript file, okay. So I would like to access user info class. Okay, from JS class.js. So this is what I would like to do it. Okay, as I as I said earlier, right? So the whole concept is called HTML modules. Okay, all we have to do is we just have to export the the variables, the classes that you think can be used in other parts of your JavaScript, JavaScript code. Okay, other files, other JavaScript files. Okay, so for that purpose, we simply use this export statement. That's it. Okay, we can just simply use this export. Excuse me. So we can just simply say export. Yeah. Again, I can just say export right here. Okay. So when we do that, what happens is automatically, right? So I can start using this particular, particular variable or a class in another JavaScript, another JavaScript file. Okay. Let's save that. Okay. What is wrong with this? What declaration? Okay. I can do it, against each variable, or I can together do this at the bottom as well. I can just simply say export. I can just simply say export user info or default user info. That's it. This is also possible. Okay. So now I have made this user info right available for other JavaScript files to use it. Okay. Yeah. So I'll save this one. And let me go back to the main. Okay. So we just exported something, isn't it, from this file, right? All I have to do is I just have to import this. Import. Okay. User info from this JS class.js. That's it. Okay. I'll save this one. Okay. So now what I can do is I can just simply do the other thing like let obj user equal to user info dot user info off. Yeah, this time I'll just say jack@gmail.com, something like that. Then let's try to call this. Okay, was it show user? What was this one? Show user info, right? Okay, so this is this is what this is how you can able to reuse our JavaScript code. Okay, and this is precisely what is happening in Lightning Web Component. So next time when you see your Lightning Web Component code, okay, when you look at this one, yeah, when you look at this one, import statement tells you that it did import something, correct, from a file. Basically, this LWC that you are seeing is a JavaScript file that Salesforce has written. Okay, Salesforce has written this code, and then you are simply accessing this code. Okay, so that this is a class, so that this class can be used in your actual code. Okay, to inherit all its properties and methods. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'm doing. Okay, so all your Lightning Web Component, okay, will use this Lightning element as a base class. Okay, so that's the reason I'm importing this base class from a file LWC.js. Somewhere it is written, as in in your Lightning Web Component framework, it is written, but it is not shown in your project. When you deploy this, right, when you compile this code and then deploy this, so that's when Salesforce, behind the scenes will access all the required, properties, methods, everything, and completes your code. Okay, so that's the thing. That's why this particular statement exists, and whatever component that you build, okay, that component has to be shared. Okay, and that's the reason we have this export default also added. Why do I need this? Because Hello World is a component that I would like to use it inside a Lightning page, isn't it? Or I may like to use that Hello World component inside a community site, or I may want to use this Lightning component inside my B2B commerce site, correct? So this needs to be in a format, okay, or it should be available to use in other places, correct? That is the reason we are using this export all the time. Okay, the the one that you build, okay, the element or component that you build, correct, can be made available or should be made available to use it in other components or other callers as well. That could be a Salesforce lightning page or community page or commerce cloud, whatever it is. Yeah, that's why this export default is also added. You can just see this, right? Okay, in a simple in a very simple example, this is precisely what we did. I used export default, user info, this is the exact name. Yeah, if I want expose more than one, I can do that. I can just say user info comma SZ topic. Okay, so now what happens is right here. Okay, if I don't give default, I have to use this curly brace. Okay, I have to say this SZ topic. I can just use this right here, and now I can just simply say document.write SZ topic. That's it. Yeah, so this is how I can able to use a part of my JavaScript code, okay, in another file using this HTML modules concept. Okay. So let's quickly document that. Now it's 12:20. Okay, let's quickly document that in our mind map. Okay, and then we'll quickly see few more things so that we'll all be ready tomorrow, right? First thing to start building Lightning Web Component. Yeah. So you have the SFDs project and some of the concepts. So you have this JS ES6 standards. First thing is we did see this HTML modules, okay, which is nothing but import helps to expose JS code to use in other JS files. Yeah, and what else? So the export. I'm sorry, that's export in fact, not import. Right, so import will help you, okay, helps to download JS files, JS code, okay, from other JS files. That's it. So that's the HTML models, that's the HTML models. And other than that, we did use this template tag significance, correct? So this is a very special tag. That's what we have seen, correct? That is the code. Okay, so basically it helps you to reuse HTML code. Yeah, so not only that, okay, so use JS to read and manipulate HTML code. Okay, so this is when we create a Lightning Web Component, I will show you what kind of manipulation that Salesforce does. Okay, it will add HTML tags for sure. It will also change the ID of your element. Yeah, so I'll show you that what kind of manipulation that Salesforce does. Yeah, and we did also see the let and where. We did see the difference, correct? And we did see how to use JS support for classes, correct? And use extends keyword to inherit other JS classes. Okay, yeah. So we did see all these things so far, isn't it? What else? Good. So there is something called web components. Okay, so part of web components we have already spent time, and then we did learn the HTML models is part of this web components concept. Okay, so this web components concept, it's not new. Okay, so this web components, right? Yeah, so this is a standard. Okay, in a modern web technology development, web components is a standard. So using JavaScript, you and I can build a web component that can be used across any JavaScript framework. What are you saying, Rajesh? What does it mean? Think about it. So we have this HTML tags, correct? If I go to W3 schools HTML, we do see a lot of tags right here, correct? So we have some basic tags. We have this image tag, we have this H1 tag, we have this link tags, etc., etc. Correct? Yeah. So who manages all these tags? It is called W3 consortium, W3C. Okay. So those guys, just like how ECMA manages the JavaScript. Okay, this W3C is managing all the tags. Okay, but we do have lot of tags, but is that enough? Ideally speaking, no. If I ask you to to show me a tag that helps me to show images in carousel, right? Images in carousel, something like this. This is a carousel, right? Yeah, carousel. So this helps me to just traverse through each and every every image, correct? Is there an equivalent HTML tag that takes different images as input and then shows me something like this on the screen? No, there is not even a single HTML tag that does this for me. I have to build it. I have to use CSS. I have to use image tag. I have to use title tag. Together, I have to build my own simple Java, simple HTML HTML code. Correct? Yeah. So now this is where the web components come into the play. Can I create a tag, something like this? I can name it anything. Tag name as Rajesh or Rajesh carousel. Yeah. Or user carousel or news carousel. I can name it anything. Okay. When I do that, can this browser or will this browser recognize the tag? Ideally speaking, no, it won't recognize. Okay. But using this web components concept, we can able to build our own HTML elements, HTML tags. Okay. We can do that, and then we can make browser to listen to the tag and then make it work. For example, all these tags we are kind of familiar. Div H1, H, correct? I'm going to introduce one new tag. User info, right? Save. Yeah. I'll go back to the org. I'm sorry, I'll go back to the page. Okay. And if I go, I don't see any error, isn't it? I don't see any error. If I type something right here, save. Yeah. It just simply shows the data, correct? So if I just do some, let's say ID, let's say style equal to color, let's say blue. Okay. So what is happening? Is there any tag with the name user info? Actually, no, isn't it? Yeah. Can I type something like this? Rajesh. Nothing is happening, correct? No error, nothing. Even if you go to the inspect, right? You can find that Rajesh tag appearing in the code. Okay. Where is it? Rajesh? But there is absolutely no error. But the thing is, the browser does not know what to do with this new tag called Rajesh. Yeah. It knows that it is not a standard HTML tag. No. W3 consortium does not have a tag with the name Rajesh. Correct? But still, the browser doesn't know what to do, and it just simply ignores it, correct? So tomorrow when we write your HTML in Lightning Web Component, you will use a lot of components or a lot of tags, something like this, Lightning card. You will use something called Lightning button. Okay, same thing. Browser does not know what to do with that lightning card, lightning button. It just simply ignores it. But I actually wanted something to happen when this particular tag is added in my HTML. How is that possible? Yeah, so that is possible through this web components, and which is what we are going to see tomorrow to start with, and then start creating our Lightning web components. Okay, because this is the fundamental again. Okay, so using web components. Okay, web components as a standard, I can build a nice tag. Okay, yeah, which is my custom tag, rather I put it that way, my custom HTML tag. So when this tag is added into my HTML. Okay, then the system, okay, or the browser, right, will start working. Will start accepting that tag, and I will write a code. I will write a pure JavaScript code, and based on what is written inside the JavaScript code, it will work, or the browser will work. So the thing is, right, using this web components standard, it is possible for us to create our own HTML tags, and this is precisely what Salesforce has done. If you go and then look into Salesforce Lightning Web Components Gallery, okay, Salesforce has built a lot of such reusable HTML tags called custom elements. I'll show you right away. With that, I will just open up for questions. I'll take this as an example, lightning card. So you have seen this in Aura development, Aura cards, right? So you can just see this, right? There is this lightning card, yeah. So I did add this lightning card in my HTML, but nothing had happened, correct? Nothing had happened. It just simply ignored by the HTML, correct? But now it is possible, when we create lightning web component, we can add these, these tags or custom elements, okay, and make it work. Because if I add something like this, it will show on output, right, with a header, with a button on the right, with a footer, etc. Let's say I want to have a carousel, right? That is also possible. See, with a plain Java, with a plain HTML tags, it's not possible. But we can create our own custom element or tag and then write our own logic, okay, with this JavaScript, blend with JavaScript and HTML, and then do that. Okay, so this is what we call web components. Okay, something that can be a reusable custom elements. Once I do that, because I'm going to build this purely with HTML and JavaScript, and once you do that, okay, so you can able to reuse that in any JavaScript framework. It could be Angular, or it could be Angular, or it could be what is it, React or Lightning Web Component, wherever it is. Yeah, so that's the whole idea, okay, of this web components. So tomorrow when we start with, we will create one simple custom element so that you can understand the theory or how Salesforce built all these components. Okay, it's not it's not complex at all. Okay, but Salesforce team has done a fabulous job of creating a lot of reusable custom elements. Okay, so we will just see how easy it is for us to create something on our own, to understand the significance, to understand the effort went into building all these components, and then we can just start using this right away. Yeah, so that's the plan for tomorrow. So right now we can take any questions that you may have in regards to this ES6 standards. Why are we learning JavaScript? Why we spent all this time just on the plain JavaScript, etc. Trust me, there is a lot of things you can learn in JavaScript. Keep in mind that ECMA team, right, committee, keep a tab on the new changes as and when it is appearing. Okay, yeah, you don't see any drastic changes, but certainly, right, having that knowledge will certainly helpful. Okay, all right, where can we have the recording session? It will be it will I think tomorrow, by I believe, right, Anand, it will be available in the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I will be posting it in the YouTube channel.
Thank you, Hemant. A lot to go, a lot to discuss. Okay, so we'll do that tomorrow. Okay, we start with our Lightning Web Component. Yeah.
Do anyone have any questions or anything?
What exactly are we using constructor? So the first thing is fundamentals again. So in our object-oriented programming language principle, a constructor is the one that gets called, isn't it? Whenever an instance for a class is created. So what we did here in our code, in the user info, where it is, this is the one, yeah. So we did create an instance, correct? Instance of a class, user info, yeah. So in a typical OOPS, concept or language, correct? OOPS language, like like Apex or Java or C Sharp, right? What we do is a constructor will have the same name as the class name. So this is how you create a constructor. So your method name and your class name will be the same. So automatically, right, that will become the constructor. Okay, but in JavaScript, okay, it's not pure object-oriented programming language. So that's the reason explicitly we are saying that, boss, this is the constructor function. So when an instance of a class is created, please ensure that this code is getting called. Okay, so that's the reason explicitly we are using constructor as a function name. I hope that helps. I don't know who asked that question. Anyways, okay, that's why we have this constructor constructor method. Okay, so we can create manual tags. Can they be made dynamic? So let's do it tomorrow, Venkat. Yeah. So we can create tags. I'll give a name Venkat Ashwant. Okay, and let's see how the browser reacts. Okay, we can have our custom logic. Let's say that prints your name all the time when the tag is used. Okay, so let's do that tomorrow. All right. Can we write code? We can write a code HTML and JavaScript in Java. Yes, we can do it. We can certainly do that. But as I said, right, a little, with a little different flavor. Yeah. So just like the ice cream example, right? You have a plain JavaScript, but on top of it, you can add some flavors, correct? So just like that, to make our development easy, okay, easier, Salesforce has made some little changes here and there. Okay, so when we start building Lightning Web Component, you will just see that yourself. Okay, but the underlying concept, okay, the fundamentals just remains the same. We will explore more as we write more LWC code. Okay. Can you please tell the difference between let and variable? I think we did discuss about this. And constant. Okay. Okay. We'll talk about this constant tomorrow. So Shubha shall be right. So we did discuss about this let and variable. So variable is nothing but var, var, right? So it has a global scope. Let is having a local scope. So this let is introduced as part of this ES6 standards 2016. Before that, everything was global. The problem with the global variable is anywhere in your code it can be changed. Yeah, but let gives a focused scope for a variable. Yeah, so that's why this let was introduced, and we have been using this let since then. Okay, so try to minimize the use of declaring a variable with var keyword. Okay, so either go for let or const. So const is nothing but it's nothing but if you want to declare something, define a variable which you don't want to change anywhere. For example, you have this username, or let's say you have this API name as a variable. Okay, for example, I'll do this. Where is it? Utility. Oh. Let's have this API or login URL. Okay, equal to. I'll just say https://login.salesforce.com. So I don't want anywhere in my code this value to get changed. Okay, what I can do is if I just do let, okay, let login URL. Okay. I'll just say variable scope.js. Okay, let's take a fresh one. Yeah.
Hi Rajesh,
Now,
we are not able to see your screen.
not able to see my screen. Is it for all? Can anyone confirm, please?
No, Rajesh.
We are able to see.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You have to relog in or refresh your screen, please. Yeah, I'll try this login.
Sorry, you have not shared the screen that you're using.
I did. I'm right now, typing code in VS Code.
Yes, Rajesh.
We are
Okay.
able to see you.
Okay, then it is fine. Super. Okay.
Okay.
So let's continue. So this is lit, right? Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll go right here and we'll do this. Okay. I'll knock this guy off. Let's say variable scope. So again, case sensitive. So I'll be very careful with the with the references. So now variable scope, right? Good. So where is the output? I have this login.salesforce.com. Perfect, right? Yeah. So now if I define a variable as a constant, okay, which means I'm going to log this forever, okay, yeah. So let me do this. Login at variable equal to where is my uh, let's say I'm changing this to test.salesforce.com, okay. Single quotes please. Yes, test.salesforce.com, right? So which means in my code it is possible to change after I declare a variable, right? But the moment I change this to constant, okay, it's not possible. It will throw an error. You can just see that if you go to inspect, right, the console, it will throw an error. All these are some plugin errors. The one that we are looking for is, yeah, assignment to constant variable. So in JavaScript, when you want to lock a particular variable value from getting changed anywhere in your code, then go with this constant. Okay, so that's the difference. Yeah, so we use this final keyword, right, in Apex. So just like that in JavaScript, it is constant. Okay. All right. So that's about the constant. Do we need to learn JavaScript from basics to learn LWC? I would say yes. Okay. It is important to learn JavaScript. You need to know how to work with functions. You need to know how to work with data types, how to work with collections in JavaScript. Okay. Because you are writing JavaScript code at the end of the day. Okay. There are a few concepts called promises, arrow functions. I will take you through only the key things that you should be aware of. Okay. But certainly yes, JavaScript knowledge is essential, okay, for writing web components. So please do spend time learning the fundamentals, okay, because as I said earlier, right, if you know the fundamentals, then it is a matter of using any AI tool, okay, to create a lightning web component for you. Then you can just start making little tweaks here and there, and then you get your component ready. Yeah. Anyways, can you please provide any links or documentation for creating web components? If you are really interested to learn the plain vanilla web components, yes, I can give you. There is something called JavaScript info. I'll send I'll just ping the link in the chat window very shortly. Can we make this session 1 or 2 days extended? Okay, I don't know. That's left with Anand. Anyway, Rajkumar. Sir, Salesforce does not provide any compiler for LWC to run the code like console. No, not really. So there is this plugin, okay, using which you can able to develop your code or write your code locally, and using the VS Code you can able to write locally, run and then see the changes in your component without even deploying the component to your org. Okay, so there is a plugin available. Okay, unfortunately the plugin is not working in my local machine, but I certainly show you the plugin. Okay, so try that in your local machine so that every time you don't have to deploy the LWC component and then see how it's going to look like. Okay, yeah, and there are few more online options available where you can just simply build the component and then see how it works. Okay, for now this training we will deploy the LWC code and then see the output. But yes, there is a plugin available. I'll just show you that plugin as well. Yeah, so very nice. So this is one left. What else? Okay, non-technical background, right? This is more of a coding stuff, Smita. Will try my best to cut down the level of complexity. Okay, but what I would recommend is so before the next call, right, if you guys could spend some time, 1 hour or 1.5 hours, to go through w3schools.com, right, and then read through HTML, JavaScript a bit, then it makes really easy for you to understand and grasp the concepts. Okay, Mokit, I don't know if there is any. Okay, I already replied, right? Good. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Does the LWC use our browser for executing? Of course, yes. Our browser only. It is our browser. Okay. So tomorrow when we debug the LWC code, you will know. Okay. It will run in your browser. Okay. Is it the reason for Salesforce not providing runtime like Apex? Huh, yeah. Maybe that's the reason, I believe. Yeah. Because once this LWC component is created, correct, it gets cached in your browser. Okay, that is also going to boost the performance of your application entirely. Unlike Aura, right? If you build an Aura component and then if your page is using Aura component, so when the page is loaded in the user browser, it gets compiled, it gets rendered as an HTML. Okay, but in LWC that's not the case. Okay, so the first time when it loads, it gets cached, because at the end of the day we are talking about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. All the three files are always getting cached in the browser, isn't it? So that is also another reason why you see a boost in the performance. Okay, and that's the reason for not having any runtime like Apex. Yeah, good. May I know the App Exchange product sessions and remaining? I don't know, but you can check in the inventory, as in the list of sessions planned, the upcoming sessions planned. Okay, specifically for App Exchange products. Studio, yeah, Lightning Studio, yes. Okay, super. Okay, so with that, so tomorrow we will deep dive into LWC. We will create our own component, like Venkat Ashwant as a component name, and then see how it works. Then we can just start with our Lightning Web component. Okay, so before that, if you want to give a try, ensure that the tools are installed: VS Code, Salesforce CLI, and the couple of plugins. Okay, that should be more than enough for us to give a try. Okay.
Hi Rajesh.
Yeah, please go on. Yes.
Yes, I have couple of questions to ask.
Yeah.
So, are we using any JS library in backend to use web components
Oh,
like
sorry.
I took care of
Are we? Oh, sorry. Please say that again. Are we using?
any JS library, JavaScript library in
No.
backend to
No,
use?
not it. No JavaScript package. No. So whatever code that we have written so far, right? It's a plain JavaScript. Plain JavaScript. We're not using any library.
Okay, okay. So this is fine. And in the upcoming sessions, are we covering concepts around like asynchronous JavaScript, understanding DOM model, and promise chaining?
You have to have a promise. You have to have knowledge around promise. You need to know how to use that, because when you build a Lightning Web component, that is going to get data from the backend Salesforce data, right? So you will write JavaScript promise code. Okay, yeah. So we will take a simple JavaScript promise code, a plain JavaScript promise code. Let's understand how it works. Then apply that knowledge. Okay, and then create a Lightning Web component code. Okay, so promises, yes. Asynchronous, let me see if we can able to include one use case that makes a call to external API and then fetch some data. Yeah, so we will see. Yeah. First we will
Yes.
cover the fundamentals. Okay, and then towards the end we'll focus, if time permits, I'll show you the asynchronous options as well. Again, in the asynchronous option, right, we will be using plain JavaScript only. The Lightning Web component, it uses plain JavaScript, async await, or async classes alone. Async classes to make asynchronous calls. Okay, yeah, but we can keep that to the last one, as a last one. Yeah,
Will work, Rajesh. Yes.
super.
Yes. And I will ask questions in coming sessions related to the understanding about possibilities around LWC. For example, why we are not able to wrap LWC inside Aura. So I have Googled to understand this, but the answers goes into complex terms. That's why, yeah.
No, you can use LWC inside Aura, but the other way around is not possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. So we can build a Lightning Web, we can build a Aura component and then have a Lightning Web component inside Aura, and then send data between Aura and the Lightning Web component.
Right. Correct.
And we will do that. We'll take a simple example and then simple use case and then do it. Okay.
Yeah, these are theoretical questions, by the way, but I just wanted to understand in layman terms at architectural level. So,
DOM is actually a simple concept. You will keep hearing the term shadow DOM when we talk about Lightning Web component. Actually, it's a simple concept, but somehow it was made a little complicated because whatever we are about to do, what we are going to do tomorrow, right? Creating a custom element, a web components that we are going to build, right? It is actually a shadow DOM. It's actually a DOM. Okay. Anyways, we have a separate slide for DOM. Let's first understand what DOM is. Then we'll talk about shadow DOM, how it is related to the elements that we are talking about, right? Lightning card, this HTML tags, etc. Okay, everything is connected. Okay, in one way or the other. We will talk about on all these points tomorrow. If I forget something, just please let me know.
Yes, Rajesh.
Try my best to share our experiences, right? Because we kind of built multiple projects using LWC, came across a lot of problems, So wherever possible, I'll quote my project experience, our project experiences, and then share the experience. Yeah.
Sure, Rajesh, thanks. And last one is when you were writing code in JavaScript file. Yeah, so the your VS Code was suggesting you the syntax and all. So you were using any extension for that?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm using this guy, another AI tool. Okay. So you can use. Where is my Cody? This is the tool that I'm currently using. Okay, so this will help you to auto complete your code. Okay, it's not it works for JavaScript, works for Python, all major programming languages. Okay, so the name of the tool is Cody AI, helps you to auto complete. You can also use Einstein for developers, which is from Salesforce. Okay, but compared to Einstein for developers, I do have Einstein for developers. It is there. Okay, may not be here. Okay, but you can also use Einstein for developers. But this Cody AI, it's more powerful and it's more accurate. Okay, so you can use this. Again, you can find this as an extension. It is from Source Graph. That's the name of the company that built this particular extension. You can find a lot of Codies, but this one I found it really helpful. Okay, this is the AI.
Thanks, Rajesh, for sharing this and for the session. Thank you.
Super. So Ravi, when you say where can I find import packages, what do you mean by that? You mean this, as in this one, LWC system modules or system packages? Is that your? Oh, okay. You and I cannot see that. Okay. So all these things, we can refer this. Okay. But when you deploy this, when you right click, when you deploy this to the org, and when this component is added to the page or to a commerce site, to a community site, okay. But basically when it is built, okay, into the org, so that's when all these packages are automatically referenced and everything, everything that completes your code. Okay. Yeah. So we cannot see the actual code inside this right in your local machine. If you're really interested to see, okay, what is it really Salesforce has written inside this lightning element class, okay, you have to go to the, did I show the source, the open source Salesforce lightning web component open source, right? So you have to go and then find this class inside this repository, download this repository, then you have to find even I don't know exactly where they have kept this class, but it should be there somewhere inside this one, could be inside this package or somewhere. Okay, so that's how you can able to see the actual code that Salesforce has written for each and every package or the file that we are going to reference when writing your lightning web component. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So any other questions? Wow. When we query SQL objects from CS, we will do that. We will do that for sure. Please hold on to one day. Okay. When we start creating lightning web component, we have specific business use cases to read data from our Salesforce S objects data.
Hi, Rajesh.
Yeah, go on, please.
I have a question. We say that in JavaScript we don't need to define the data types. So when we will use this let variable where and const, uh, so isn't it
This guy is very
uh,
flexible. JavaScript coding is very flexible. Even though you don't specify anything, it will still work. Okay, in our code, where is the code? Yeah, so this code, right? So even if you don't give anything, just say let. If I say who asked this question, I don't know.
this is Sirisha.
Srisha, right? Okay, good. So if I say SZ, this is also okay in JavaScript. Okay, Srisha.
I think your screen is visible.
My screen, is it not visible?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. So this is also totally fine. Okay, you can able to access this variable.
Oh,
Okay, this is also fine. But the after we talked about this brief history, right, about JavaScript. So when JavaScript was early introduced, right, way back in 1995, or during its journey in 2000, 2000 plus, right? So there were no standards at all, Okay, so somebody has to set the standards, right? Because people were just using JavaScript left, right, everywhere without following any standards, and that was causing compatibility issues. Okay, so JavaScript that I create in one place, suddenly, right, suddenly not working in some other browser. Okay, sometimes we used to change the JavaScript to make it work in Mac, to make it work in IE, etc., because there were lack of standards. So this is how things were earlier. Okay, you can just simply create a variable and then assign some value. That's it. Later in ES6 or 2015, right, when the ES6 standards were introduced by ECMAScript, they said, please don't do that. Okay, they are saying that follow some strict rules. Okay, so that's when this let was introduced, constant was introduced. Okay, so that gives more, scope to the variable. Okay, I want to create a variable. I want to have that variable stored in the memory only when the if block is executed, only when the for loop is executed. I don't want to keep that variable in the memory all the time, right? Yeah, because when you create a variable, when I say this first line, SZ participant name Srisha, what happens is in the memory you will get 4 bytes of data allocated in your memory, in the machine's memory. Yeah, and the problem is until this entire JavaScript code is executed, let's say I have 5,000 lines of code, until the 5,000 lines of code executed, right, this 4 bytes still stay in the memory. Do you really want that to happen? Instead, the ECMA team says that use let, use constant, so you can just define the life of your variable. If I say let, we have seen this, correct? Inside the if block, the let lives. After when you come out of this if block, the variable goes out of the memory. So you are just freeing some memory space, isn't it? Yeah. So that's how this let constant came into the existence. Okay. But earlier this was the case. But still it's a flexible language. You can still do that. But best practices says that try to use let const or wherever, whatever, whichever is needed as per the coding. Okay, to preserve memory. That's it. Yeah, to save your memory space.
Okay, thank you, Ramesh.
Super.
Thank you, team. Already it's 1 o'clock. You can wind up the today's session.